Welcome to the Here I Am talk show with host Jamie Willis, where we discuss today's truths, people's stories, testimonies, healings, miracles, and so much more. Let's get started, honey. Hi, and welcome to the Here I Am show. I'm just so happy that each and every one of you is here today. And I wanted to personally apologize for yesterday with my microphone. It was a stupid error on my part that I tried to find for about an hour. And all I had to do is reach over and click it to take the case off of my camera. So that was the only thing that was wrong yesterday. But I pretty much tore my computer apart just to figure it out. So I am so sorry. And I thank you, Darlene Chapman, for yesterday. What it still was an amazing show. And I thank you because it got over 3,000 views yesterday. And that is just absolutely an amazing thing. And it's God. And I really appreciate her and her friendship and her dedication. So I know that this story that we spoke about yesterday really needed to get out. And I love her to death. And I just, and Darlene is going to be making another appearance next week. So I am just so excited. And then also, we wanted to keep her in our prayers that she's been healing with some eye problems that she's had. She's had several surgeries, but you couldn't even tell it yesterday. She's absolutely beautiful. So we wanted to keep her in our prayers. She's going to the doctors today. And so God's hand is covering over her. And then also, I wanted to let you know that we're having Linda Bamber on with the Wave Watch. So there is going to be a code that is going to be in the bottom of my screen today. And then also, if you wanted to be able to see all the shows, because I've done, I think the last time that I counted that I've done 50 shows already, and I can't believe it. So if you want to go to True Talk America Network, and then you can see all my shows there. It's also with Michelle Moore, Preaching Cowboy, and Pastor Granny are on there too. And there's also documentaries that are absolutely mind-blowing and amazing for you to be able to get information. And then also on my own Rumble channel, I just got my own Rumble channel. There's only 4 shows on there. And I have not that many subscribers because it's brand new. So I would love for you to get on Rumble and get on Rumble channel and go to the Here I Am. You'll see, oops, I need to learn. There it is. There it is. That you can get onto my icon. And if you click on that, it's free. And then I will be downloading within the next week about 50 shows that I've done. So I know that there's a lot of new people that are on here, and I really appreciate the people that are with Darlene Chapman or Rita D. Chapman. And I welcome you, and I just hope you love the show. Well, after all this, we are going to be talking about the Wave Watch, and we are bringing Linda on right now. Hi, Linda. How are you?
I'm good. Hello there.
Yeah, I am sorry that I had to do all those announcements in the beginning. But
I feel for you because I've done the same things on computers. It's like, what is going on? And you stuck in there and you got it figured out. But
yeah, pretty much, the devil wanted us not to play it yesterday because it was pretty, riveting yesterday on the show.
Of course.
Of course. So of course that. But Linda, I just absolutely just love this Wave Watch. And it's just an incredible piece. I would call it equipment, medical equipment. Cool. I could call it that. Mm-hmm. And my husband asked me a really good question. What is the feedback that you're getting from any doctors? Are there any doctors that are helping you with this Weight Watch?
I would say not yet, but it's
Not yet.
starting to draw the attention of them. And I'm not sure I got that testimony written for you. I think I can maybe read a little bit, but someone did
Yeah.
send me a testimony that she has breast cancer, and um, she was having a really hard time with, she made the list of the things that weren't right, and she got the Wave Watch, and within a week her numbers had changed to the precancerous state and the pre-chemo state, whatever that meant, and that her oncologist was so enthused that he took the information and said he would share it with his other clients. So that's probably the first and the best one. And
Yes.
about
And
an oncologist. Several medical doctors do, but that was a really neat one. So,
okay. And then also there's maybe a possible, it's in the works, that there's this doctor that that I've been talking to, and he's helping my husband with his diabetes, type 2 diabetes and everything, but we're using all natural remedies like ivermectin and
mhm.
things like that. So um, I definitely will let him know about this. So he might
Yes,
be like
you never know.
extremely interested in because he's figuring out what's going on, you know, with the
And I
pharmaceutical.
do have one other testimony. I'm not sure. Sometimes testimonies are hard to give, and I'm not blowing them out of proportion at all. I
No, you're not.
basically have them memorized. You can't
Hmm.
make these things up. But I do have a medical doctor in the Kansas City area that her mother had gotten sepsis, and she was in the hospital with her mother, and she did put the Wave Watch on her because there's a code for sepsis. And she said other nurses would come in and take the Wave Watch off, And
Really?
so she sat beside her mother and just kept telling people, "This is on. I am a medical doctor. I want this on." And it didn't, I'm sorry her mother wasn't saved. I'm not saying it was a good story, but just the fact that she was, willing to do that, and was very forward about saying that, other people didn't know what was going on, and
Hmm.
wanted it off, and she wanted it on. So she
Yeah.
prevailed.
No,
So
that amazing story. Amazing story. But I know that you have several testimonials with the watch. But I'm just going to let you, because I know that you got your whole little system all ready for today, and the
well,
floor is all yours today.
okay. Well, I'm not sure how long we want to talk. We can talk, can't we?
Yes, yeah, we can talk. We have, I think, we've already started. And let me put. Hey, we have 45 minutes.
Yeah, there we go. So I just want to let people know, obviously, that this is a frequency. These are acoustical frequencies that are on this watch or tool, and it can move around on your wrist a little bit. And sometimes people say, "Oh, it's so big, I just don't think I could wear it." And then in the end, they're going, "Oh, no, that's why I like it because it
Mhm.
is bigger. I can read it. And if I go somewhere, somebody is going to ask me what this is." And then I can start explaining to them and share with them information about frequencies. And don't forget that frequencies have been banned. In about the 1920s, there was a huge problem with the AMA and different inventors who used frequencies. Dr. Royal Rife was the main one, and Tesla even had frequencies. And yet, all of these were considered, weird and not useful, and they were banned. And that in my opinion, again, is because they knew that they wouldn't be able to sell the medications that were being developed, the prescriptions and all of these drugs. They wouldn't have as large as sales for those. So the other thing that I want to share with you about frequencies is that they are fast working. And I don't have that, written today. I have it at
Hmm.
other times. But if you absorb a frequency when you are wearing the wave watch, there's a speaker on the back of it right here. And so it plays this little sound, I say like a bee buzz, an insect sound. So you don't have to hear it, your body will absorb it. And so it will start one cell to vibrating, and then the next cell will vibrate, and the next. And then it basically zips through your body at 4.3 times the speed of sound. So it goes very, very fast. On the other hand, and this information came from Bruce Lipton, who is a physicist that has written several books. He's just amazing. So, on the other hand, a medical or prescription or a drug, whatever you want to call it, and sadly, even supplements, they are a different kind of a waveform or a chemical waveform, and they move through your body at a foot a second. So that is so slow that your body burns up 98% of that chemical wave. So doesn't that make sense why we have to take something over and over and
Hmm.
over again? It just kind of clicked with me. It's like, oh, duh, you know. So that's why we have to take, different things. Sometimes they'll even tell us for life because it's just not getting absorbed, it's not getting used because it is being absorbed into your body through a chemical wave rather than an acoustical wave like the wave watch. Does that make sense, Jamie?
It
Did I?
does. It does. And then with the medicine, we have to continually take it, and it's not 9 times out of 10, it's not healing. It's just
There are so many
taking care of
side
the
effects.
problem, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
taking care of the symptoms, but not curing it.
Mhm. And so I don't know if I should repeat my story again, Jamie, you have new listeners, you're growing.
I
But
do.
for those of you, I hope I'm not boring you, but basically, my mother and sister had breast cancer at the same time. And my medical doctors just told me to have a double mastectomy and forget about it. You know, it's like,
Wow.
what? That's your advice to me? So I didn't believe him. It's like, I'm a teacher. I can figure out something better than that. And so I started a business about 15 years ago that I named BRAS, BRAS, an acronym for Breast Research Awareness and Support. And so I've been teaching women for about this 15-year time period how to protect their breast health. And during this whole search and working with different places and women, over 5,000 or 6,000 of them, I was able to put together so many ideas that are causing our breast problems. And it was a lot of work for women to protect themselves that way. So I kept searching. It's like, what's easier? What's a better way? What's a quicker way? And the answer was frequencies, just like I was telling you. They work so much faster. So I've had 9 women literally have their breast lumps. I'm not saying they were cancerous. I'm not saying that at all. Breast lumps go away or almost go away in 30 minutes in my office.
30 minutes?
30 minutes in my office. That gives you an example of how speed is. I've also had 20 different people in my office work with kidney stones. And they did a urine sample in 30 minutes and it was full of plaque. One lady even had 5 rice size grains, white grains in her urine sample. So their pain was gone. And so, their testimonies were basically that their kidney stone pain was gone in 30 minutes. So I can't say that on everything. Some things are much
Yeah.
slower, it might take a month or so for somebody to say they really felt something. But I think that's the interesting part, that frequencies are not going to be addictive. They're not going to have side effects, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
So,
Um, I do have sleep apnea.
mhm.
Do you have any testimonials from anybody
I
who's had?
do. Yeah, I have a gentleman that called and said his machine had broken down, and
Mhm.
his wife just happened to see that there was sleep apnea on the watch. It's in the insomnia category. And, so he thought he'd use that. And he called back to say he wasn't buying another machine, for his breathing and sleep apnea. So that was a great one. And he said he even scared his wife because he wasn't making a sound. He was so quiet. And where
Yeah.
before he would just,
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that,
yeah,
and
sleep apnea.
and ho and I will have a testimonial about that
All
because I
right.
did. put it on the sleep one, the sleep apnea, but I put my machine on.
Oh, uh-huh. Yeah. So maybe I'm
So do
not
you
quite
think
sure.
that maybe I can, be able to have healing through that even
Evidently,
with the
he
machine
was
on?
able to do that. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I will try it. I'll start it tonight.
Okay. There you go. So I don't know if you can see my, whoops, you can't see my screen, can you? How about
Okay.
that way? Can you see my
All right.
screen?
I can.
Okay. So just wanted to share with you her discount code again for the Wave Watch if you're interested. And these next 11 or 12 days are very fun for us for the holidays. We have started another special that we're calling the 12 Frequencies of Christmas. And so if you decide to order today using the Here I Am code, you'll also get an automatic 12% discount to celebrate the holiday season. So this code is good for a long time, but only the 12% edition is only available during the next 11 days. We started it yesterday, you know.
Yeah, she just announced that to me right before we got on the show, so I was really excited about it.
So there you go. You get an extra 12% off if you order today, or again, like I said, in the next 11 days. We had to do 12 frequencies of Christmas. So here's a little bit about the Wave Watch. This is my staff. We actually had a meeting. People came from different parts of the country, from Portland, Oregon, and from the Nashville area. And then four people are from the Kansas City area. So this is the staff that's answering your phone calls and trying to repair if you need some help on that, update the watches and that kind of thing. So I really appreciate that people are noticing that I have real people to take your calls. And I appreciate if you do give us a little bit of slack, because it is the holiday season and we're a little bit overwhelmed, but we are trying, and we're adding new support crew or support staff to, again, take those calls. We want to give the best service we can because frequencies are important. And that's what we're putting out to you, is our vibes, and we want our vibes to be very high and positive and helpful to you. So I get to brag as a mother. The two on the left, the taller young man, and the one right next to him, John and Joseph, those are my sons from Nashville that started working with me. And then we have Ina and Courtney. This is me, of course, and my husband Carl, and Terry and Tom. And this couple are from Portland, Oregon. So you may have talked to them. And tell them hi and give them a great shout out for Christmas, okay?
Yeah, what a good looking family. What a good looking group.
There we go. So, just being a little personal about that, because we are a personal business. We're not a conglomerate. We're trying to let the world know that frequencies can be very healing. And so, this is the product that I developed, and it does come with a 24-page booklet, which lists the 1,000 frequencies. You'll get a watch. And just a comment here, sometimes people don't realize that there's a little film covering this to protect it during shipping. And so you need to pull this film off, and then you'll put another screen protector on it so that it's protected from scratches, or when you drop it, it does, people do that. They have dropped it. You can protect the screen with the screen protector. But again, that has been something that we've taken several calls on. People think that there's something wrong because it's kind of scratch looking, and they did not peel the screen off. Can you see me where I'm circling with my
Yes.
pointer? Okay.
Yes.
So right there, look for that. And then we have two kinds of wristbands. We have a Velcro one or a leather style one if you're interested. We have the charging cord and the charging brick, and also a carrying case for it. So you should get all that in the mail when you order the Wave Watch, if you're interested in this amazing product. I just got a testimony this morning, so I put it right on. And this one is from Sally. And I hope some of you have used an ionizing foot bath. I know Michelle Moore talks about it, that she has used that. But here's another lady who has used a foot bath. And she says, after using the Wave Watch liver and kidney detox, the water was always black with yeast clouds floating in the water. After 20 minutes, the water was clear for the very first time. And that's what Michelle has been saying, that her
Wow.
water has changed drastically. So that's a clue right there that the Wave Watch is able to detox you. And I should have put maybe a few ideas on the detox, but we have about 22 different detox ideas. So this is a liver and kidney. We have an intestinal detox. We have an EMF detox. We have an anesthesia detox, which is very, very important. People don't realize that so many people die within the first year of anesthesia detox problems. So this is a huge connection letting us know that the watch really is detoxing some of these ideas. We have a sick building detox syndrome, and we also have a viral detox. So if you know anybody who's really gone overboard or needs some support or some help with some of the vaccinations that they've been taking, that's the protective method that I could find that you might be able to detox something from those. I'm not saying that I have any evidence except for this idea right here that it definitely is detoxing. And
That's
then
incredible.
I just have a tiny little video here to show you. And I don't want to take too much time because you've got to have it in your hand sometimes. But there really are 1,000 selections. There are 3 swipe screens, and this is one swipe screen here, but there are 3 of these screens so that you can go through your 1,000 selections and find them. And there's 4 ways to repeat a frequency, and it's going to just show that. Just tap is all you'll see, just a short video. And then we also have the ability to create playlists where you could go through the ideas and you could take one frequency from here and one frequency from here and 5 frequencies from here and put them all in a folder that you want to play just for yourself. Another idea would be, if you're going maybe to visit an elderly person who can't set the watch very well, you could go through all of the ideas that that person might need and set them. And then she might just have one tap. That's all she would have to do. And the last reminder is you don't have to hear these frequencies. Some of them are louder than others. They all have their own little sound, very unique sound. This is a targeted watch, and so they will sound differently. And some of them don't sound very loud, especially emotional frequencies. They do not have a lot of sound to them. But the watch is still working and your body is absorbing. So here's a little bit of how it works just to show you there's no really sound to it. I should have said, except this sound. And that is the sound that it does make. A little bit of variation, obviously, with different ones, but you want to turn it down. Who wants to listen to that little, vibrating sound all the time? So that's why this tool is so good. There are some larger tools that kind of maybe are pre-med bed. I'm not sure what you'd say, but you lay on a large type of a bed, and they are flooding you with every frequency in the world, is the way they say it. And so it's just this huge hum sound.
Mhm.
And the owner of that particular, or one of those particular products, when he saw the Wave Watch, he said, "Oh, you have specific targeted frequencies." And yes, it does. 1,000
Mhm.
targeted frequencies. So hope that's helpful.
Yes, it is.
And then I've also kind of talked about these already. It's not connected to the internet is a new one that I hope you really, really appreciate. I had to work very hard to develop a tool with no internet connection. And there's no cords or wires or patches. I think it's cost effective. Everybody has a budget. I tried to make it as cost effective as possible. And again, some of the tools that do use frequencies, like an original Rife frequency machine, some of those are $14,000 to $18,000. Some of them are $3,000. The MedBed idea I was talking about, not giving any names, but just saying that that was a $50,000 to $60,000 tool. So you have
Yes,
to
it is.
and see your budget, and we are
Mhm.
talking about $497 with $100 off, and then another 12% off for the holiday season. So hopefully you'll take advantage of that. And then the last idea, don't forget, everybody can use it. Kids can use it. Babies could use it if you can, just be beside them. Several people have just held a baby in their arms and had the watch on themselves. And the baby would calm down and stop crying when were playing an anxiety or a frequency they thought might be useful for that child. And animals are the same way. You could hold your pet, or you could have the wave watch on a counter, and the pet will come up usually and sit at your feet. I stopped counting the amount of testimonies I've had from pets that just will relax and calm down and behave differently with the owner when the wave watch is on. So, all kinds of ideas and uses. Now, here's another testimony. Um, Thank you so much for bringing this technology to the market. I love my watch so much, I only take it off to charge it because there are so many wonderful, healthful frequencies to use daily. One thing that happened to me, I started to get a vicious sinus head cold, the kind that are miserable for me and usually last 2 weeks. I put the Wave watch on cold and flu, and she did take some NyQuil, so we have to give that credit too.
Mhm.
And she went to bed. In the morning, I had no symptoms of a cold or flu, completely gone. I was amazed at that instant healing. I truly love my Wave watch. And you know what? I had the lady's name, and I don't guess it pasted it on here. But these are Wave watch testimonials that people send to me. We have an email system, and then they can choose to send testimonials. So I appreciate that testimonial so much.
That's an amazing testimony.
So, anything you want to add at this point?
And also, if you feel like you're coming down with a cold, or that there are several frequencies for that, isn't there, Linda?
Yes. And my suggestion is to play through all of them. you know if it doesn't give you some results right away, then play another one. And
Okay.
we have cold and flu frequencies, we have staph and strep frequencies, we have influenza frequencies, and we even have coronavirus and COVID-19 frequencies. So there's quite a few places that you can work on a cold or flu.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the frequencies, as you said, do not hurt you. So it doesn't matter if you accidentally put it on the wrong frequency. Is that correct?
That's the perfect way to say that, because
Mm.
these frequencies kind of blend together. So, like if there is a cold, an influenza virus setting in your body, it is vibrating. That's how they were able to measure the frequency. It has its own vibration. And then you send a frequency through the wave watch that is made for influenza, which is the same frequency. That's what they are. It's a duplicate frequency. Those two frequencies will meet. Can you see my hands okay? They
Yes, I
will
can.
they will meet, and then they just kind of balance each other out, blend. Some people will say kill, some people say self-amplify, several different words to describe rebalancing that frequency. Now, if you have an influenza frequency and we send a frequency in for parasites, they're not even going to meet. Nothing's going to happen. They're just going to go all the way through. But did it hurt you? No. That's what frequencies do. We absorb acoustical frequencies all day long and all night long. So that's a little bit about how it works.
Mm.
And I just think that God gave us these frequencies. Don't you think so?
Yes. Yes. Amen on that.
So many testimonies, and so many uh, verses and places in the Bible that people can relate to. And when they think about it, oh, it's talking about a frequency, so right in, Genesis 1:2, doesn't that say, the Spirit of the Lord was hovering? And what's another word for hovering? Vibrating, you
Hmm.
know? So, we were spoke into existence. And the list goes on. everything has a frequency that God gave us. And I'm
Yes.
just so thrilled to be able to share these frequencies. I had a friend when I first started working. I used a machine to test some frequencies. And I was actually telling a lot of people that certain stones have frequencies that can be very helpful and for you health wise. And
Mm-hmm.
my friend just had a really hard time with that. And I said, well, Libby, look in your Bible, you know? And so she looked it up and she came back with the verse. And now my mind just went blank on exactly where the verse is from. But basically, it is saying, and the rocks will cry out to me, the rocks will cry out. So she, her interpretation was they're vibrating, they are crying out, they are meeting people's needs with their specific frequencies. And so they measured almost every rock you can think of has a frequency. And those frequencies change on the stones according to the size and the shape and the cut. So, why do you think that we use um, frequencies in our watches? Why do you think we use stones in different watches that
Mm-hmm.
you'll see? Because they have a frequency. So quartz is one of the main ones. Now I've got, kind of a flat one here, but quartz is the main one. You will see that quartz, you can order it online according to its frequency. And who put that frequency in that stone? Where did
Yeah.
it come from?
Yeah.
Thank you, God. Thank you for all these
Yes.
frequencies. So,
He gave us all the tools that we really needed here
mhm,
on earth.
mhm.
Everything.
And so stones sometimes have gotten a bad reputation, you know, but I think that we need to look back further. Stones are all over the Bible. There is so much information about how stones were used or they were placed in different places. And when you read about it, you'll find that different stones, the frequency does something different for each idea. So quartz is known to be very calming. Um, the turquoise stone is probably my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And turquoise is a stone for creativity.
Is it
And so,
really?
yes. And so I proved that to myself. I didn't even know it. I was just learning about stones, but I was trying to write a book for my breast research awareness company. And I was sitting at my computer and I was just going really slow. And for some reason, I think God told me, to get up and get put on my turquoise necklace. And so I did. I answered what came in my head, and I jumped up
Mm-hmm.
and I put this necklace on. I sat back down, and man, every time I wore that necklace, I could get a chapter done. I could do this, I could do this, and I got my book done. But when I take off the turquoise stone, I just sat there and nothing would happen. So I tested, I put
Wow.
it back on, and I just had all this creativity. So then later, I looked up what the characteristics of this stone were and what turquoise is known for, and it is to develop creativity. So I was a soul person after that, and so
Because
you can
that's amazing. Because there's a difference between, buying crystals and then having but a pure stone,
look. Mhm.
you know, straight from the ground. You know,
Yes,
a lot of the crystals have been manufactured. They've been, tainted.
yes.
But we're talking about stones, and
Mhm.
it does. And the stones, even when I went to Israel, there it was something about the stones coming straight from the ground. I mean, you can really feel tremendous frequency from it when I was
Yes.
able to touch some of these places, and
Mhm.
even with the Wailing Wall.
Wow.
Yeah, and I
So,
touched the Wailing Wall, and I started speaking in tongues.
oh my.
I did. I did. And I'm like, and I did speak in tongues, but I didn't really, do it a whole lot. And then I was speaking in a language, and I'm like, okay, only God.
Only God.
No, that, and that's what it is. It is a frequency.
And do you know what the Wailing Wall is made out of? What stone it is, or is that a?
You know what? I don't.
I don't know a lot about that, so I would
You
not
know,
know.
but I will look it up. I will look it up.
But as you learn, as people learn about frequencies, they will begin to realize that everything is a frequency. They have been able to measure the frequencies of all of our emotions. I have a system, a computer system that has the frequencies for over 160 different emotions, you know? And we have those basically on the wave watch. There are frequencies, there are about 100 and different, I couldn't get all of them on the wave watch, uh, but there are 100 different frequencies for um, emotions. I mean, it's just amazing. And we are emotional people, which means that we're frequency people. So when we have like when anybody's mad, I think this is an example. People know if they get mad that they can just kind of shake and
Mhm.
or if you're watching somebody that's throwing a fit and is very mad, you can actually feel the vibrations from that person, and sometimes you can even see them vibrating. That's a different way to say it.
Yes.
Their madness, so that's the most obvious one. But we don't realize that sadness has a vibration too, depression has a vibration, fear has a vibration, everything has that vibration. So that's why we want to raise those vibrations so that our emotions are where they should be, very high and joyous, especially during this season. So the Wave Watch, I've got several little programs out on a Zoom call too. And I think I spoke on Michelle's Moore's show last week about um, emotions and how they can bring you up or down. So the importance of emotions and all that you can do on the Wave Watch with the emotions. So if you don't get the Wave Watch for anything else but emotions, most people say it's worth it. But again, you've got 900 other frequencies that you can work with in different ways. So I don't know if I want to, go on to that, into that too much, but you know, uh, I just saw this phrasing and I'm enamored with it. And it's somewhere I saw a quote that said, God is a frequency. Stay tuned.
That is awesome.
Isn't that simplistic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We have
what
to.
do we want? We want to be able to hear God's voice.
Mhm.
And through the Holy Spirit we're able to. But he has a soft, gentle voice. And
And yeah.
and it is a frequency. It's just something that just winds up just popping up in your head.
Mhm.
And
I know that's how I describe it. It just pops into my head like a
it
thought,
does. And
but
then
I
I'm
know
like,
it's not a
I
thought.
never even thought of it. And then it's just like a thought, or
Mhm.
it'll be really quick.
Mhm. So you remember those connections and you try to stay tuned to that frequency. So I
Hmm.
just love it. I'll repeat it again. God is a frequency. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I love that. You ought to do that on a T-shirt.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
That
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 is.
is, it's really awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I
all right.
had a
I'm
few
gonna
more
put.
ideas. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yep, I'm just gonna put that on the screen.
I love that.
Okay, here we go.
And I can't see it. My screen doesn't let me see it. So I hope, yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. So one more thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is, we talked about, our emotions have a frequency, the rocks have a frequency, and then our songs, our voice has frequencies. So this is really old time ability to listen and know that different tones that we were singing could make different changes. And so the solfeggio frequencies, they could be from the 10th or 11th century. And now that we have the equipment to measure them, we know that these tones can have specific changes in our body. And so a tone that resonates at 174 hertz reduces pains. So, you think about the monks, doing chants. We kind of have that in mind.
Yeah, we do.
the chants. And so they were chanting at a certain frequency. They didn't maybe know it then, they didn't call it that, but these were specific tones that have now kind of been fleshed out from that. And so, that kind of goes exactly with what we're talking about. We learn to talk back to God, maybe to, to do humming and chanting
Hmm.
and connect with Him, through our speech and our toning. And so, here's a frequency. You can read it just as good as I can. I think it shows up for everybody, doesn't it? Uh,
Yes, yes.
the 528 hertz is for transformation, miracles, and restore our DNA. So there are amazing stories of God's healing with chanting. And that's exactly where the idea for the Wave Watch came from. People are not realizing this, but if I could put those same sounds on a tool for us, then maybe we'd have a little bit more natural ways to heal ourselves. So, you can see that 741 hertz is for cleaning and truth and expression. The 963 hertz is to awaken an original, awaken our minds, awaken ourselves to a perfect state, a better state. And then if I go down the opposite way, 396 hertz is liberation from guilt and fear. So they have pinned these exact tones. They know the frequency of them and they can measure what this frequency might be able to help. So on the Wave Watch itself, the frequencies run from 40 to about 20,000 hertz. Now, we can hear sometimes in the 20 to 20,000 hertz, but the Wave Watch does not go quite that low. The speaker did not go from 20 to 40 at all. And so, again, when you're in the low side and the high side of something, some people can hear more than others and can hear the high frequencies, or some people cannot, and then other people can hear low frequencies and it's blocked from somebody else's hearing. So that range is still a really good range to think about. So those are the frequencies, the hertz range that we can hear and that are on the Wave Watch for use. And then I just think it gets deeper and deeper. Here's another kind of illustration of these frequencies. And just the fact that these frequencies were what Tesla revered, which I thought was so amazing. If you knew the magnificence of the numbers 3, 6, and 9, you would have the key to the universe.
That is
I don't know
amazing.
how many of you are Tesla fans, but this is just what's going on here. These are basically 3, 6, and 9 some way. They've got them all. Yeah. So, this is another page. It just says it in a different way. So these frequencies are all in the Wave Watch, and you can play these at any time that you want. You can make it go from one to the other, or you could just isolate one and make it play it all night long. So love is my favorite one, as you ought to be able to tell from my sign behind
Yeah.
me.
The
So it's a huge.
more perfect way to be able to do it is when you're sleeping,
Mhm.
and to be able to just be able to be relaxed. And then when you wake up in the morning and then you're just like, okay, what in the world just happened? To
I
be able
love
to
it.
be
Yeah.
restored. Because the
Um,
Lord says, things are better in the morning.
Say that again.
I said, the Lord says things are better in the morning.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yep. There you go. So I think I've kind of mentioned that these solfeggio frequencies are a little bit harder to hear, the emotional frequencies, but they're so powerful. And so this is a quote from a guide, a solfeggio guide that says, these frequencies can literally bring back to you the original tones of the heavenly spheres and put your body into balanced resonance, which is what we were talking about with this idea here. And so this music is the key to the universe. You can either throw it away or you can use it to find healing, harmony, health, and well being. And again, it says the tones are best when it is almost impossible to hear them on their own. The frequencies do not need to be listened to at high volumes. In fact, or instead, the tones are meant to be heard in the background at lower volumes or on the wristwatch. On the watch, they are absorbed into your body because it touches your body and each cell starts to vibrate. So we have so many sources of frequencies. Everything,
Yeah,
is a frequency. And I just probably am a broken record saying God gave them all to us. All of these
he
frequencies
did. He did. Because as I said, he supplies all our needs. And this is what God created. And and the other side, they want us to continue on taking medication. So, and not to get better, not to get healed. And, it's a big business when it comes to pharmaceutical industry. So that's another, that's another thing. But,
yes,
um, but our body through sound can heal itself.
obviously, I
Yes.
love
Yes.
sound.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know if I've told you this before. I think we did talk about it, but sound has always intrigued me because I'm deaf. I'm completely deaf in one ear. And so, I have cried a lot because I have 6 people that have told me that they've taken off their hearing aids with using the Wave Watch on the deafness frequency. Doesn't that just blow you away?
No, it does. It does. It just, you know, the Lord is still in the miracle business. He is. And but people just think, that surgery is an answer to everything.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, that's what we were taught.
Yes. And so it's our role to wake people up. That's what we're doing. So
It
thank
is.
you so
It
much for
is.
sharing this information about the Wave Watch,
And
because
I've had it since January. So it's going on a year
wow.
since I've
Okay.
had it.
Mhm.
And I got it through Michelle when Michelle was starting to sell it.
Mhm.
And and this is even before my show, but as soon as you um, introduce the watch to Michelle, and then Michelle's like, "You got to get this, Jamie." And so I listened to Michelle, which I'm glad I did. When
For
Michelle speaks, everybody listens, right?
I think so. Definitely, you know. So
um, and then also a lot of people have stomach issues that I
Mhm.
noticed on the watch. There is several frequencies for the stomach issues.
Yes. And then I think we need to think out of the box because our medical community doesn't tell us how bad parasites are on our stomach or
Yes.
bacteria, or E. coli. So we have specific frequencies with names of, leaky gut or, whatever's, there's several of them that you can use for specific ideas about your stomach or intestines, but they don't tell us about parasites or, those different germs that can be so problematic. So I would play all of those also, when you are having some kind of problem with upset stomach. And then you can't forget about emotions. If we are anxious, we're going to have stomach problems.
Yes.
We're going to be upset.
And I
Yep.
know that's when mine acts up is when I'm really nervous or anxious, and then I'm like, okay, you hate to say it, but where's the nearest bathroom?
Yeah. But see, that's how easy the Wave Watch is because you've got 3 different ideas there. And instead of having to have 3 different medications, or maybe go to 3 different pharmacies to pick it up, or maybe 3 different doctors, maybe you're seeing, somebody for emotional problems, and maybe you're seeing somebody for parasites that's different,
Mhm.
a specialist that way than somebody who would work on your intestines. So the Wave Watch can really de-stress your life a little bit and simplify it with some different selections for
Yeah.
one problem.
And with the parasite cleanse, what do you recommend people when they put it on the parasite cleanse? What part of the day do you think is more effective?
I don't know if I have a feel for that. I worked with that in my office. I worked with 100 people that had that I tested with a machine that I mentioned several times. It's called an MSA. But anyway, out of that 100 people, 42 of them had parasites as their worst problem. And so we were, working with these in the middle of the day and, not at night or anything like that. And we had great results between 8 and 5, that just hours of a business.
Yeah.
But within 30 minutes, those people were seeing changes. The machine was testing it completely different, huge connections to think that the Wave Watch was working. I had also taught them muscle testing and how to pick out a remedy for parasites. And after wearing the Wave Watch for 30 minutes, they didn't need that parasite remedy. And some changes had been made. And literally, someone sent me a picture after 6 hours. She drove home, and 6 hours later, or whatever, she sent me a picture of a foot-long parasite that had been passed. And that was
Oh,
just
wow.
wearing the Wave Watch for 30 minutes. So you don't need to do a lot, but just run it maybe over at least maybe once a week or at least twice a
Mhm.
month, because you get rid of it the first time, then we're re-exposed to everything. Our animals lick us, you walk barefooted in the sand, you're going to pick up a parasite, that kind of thing. Our food can have parasites on it. So
Yeah.
that is something that we need to be continually aware of. So
Because the food does carry a lot of parasites, doesn't it?
it does. Yeah. Yeah.
I heard that a lot of the parasites are in sugar.
I'm not sure about that one. I know, there's a lot of meat and salads and, things that are outside, green things. But
Hmm.
I do not know on that one. That wouldn't surprise me though.
It wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah.
You learn
Yeah.
something new every day,
Hmm.
something that winds up coming out.
Hmm.
And now they're like really coming out with McDonald's
Oh, yeah.
that they're actually putting warning labels on the French fries.
Oh, they are. What are they saying?
Yes, they I just saw it yesterday that they were putting warning labels on the that it had like gasoline in
Whoa.
the French fries.
Who is making them put that on? I hadn't caught up with
Out in
that idea.
California,
Out in California. Wow.
out
Okay.
out in all the California and all the McDonald's there, they have warning labels, even in the drive-through and
I love it though.
everything now.
Wow.
Yeah,
People need to wake up. Yep.
yeah, they do, they
Mhm.
do.
I haven't been to McDonald's for 20 years, so I didn't even know that. But this is a new.
I've been there sooner than that, but it's just like, okay, I need to stop. After
Well, you can
that,
have some
they just
tea
found
there.
it
You can
the
have some
day before
coffee there.
yesterday.
Okay. Just to finish up, I bet we're running out of time, but just this
Yes.
slide that was up, if you're able to read it, we have changed to a 12-tone scale when we sing now. And they are saying that this scale has kind of limited our consciousness and our intuition. And it can maybe even, it's out of sync with the natural world. So they're saying that the solfeggio scale is mathematically consistent with patterns of the universe and has been shown to have significant healing abilities.
Yeah. Hey,
So,
producer Jimmy.
pardon?
Hey, Jimmy. He has his headphones on. I need for him to come back in here because I want him to make sure that I put that discount code on there.
Oh, I think it has been on there. I can't see it.
Yeah, I have it scrolling down in the bottom, everyone. But the discount code is in all caps. It's here I am 100.
And if you go on in the next 11 days, we have an extra 12% to add to that. You don't even have to key it in or anything. Just put in the code for Here I Am 100 for $100
And
off.
that's a huge savings. And I totally recommend this watch. As I said, it's been a year since I've had it, and I've used it for so many different things. And I thank Linda for coming on today, and thank you for this watch
Oh,
and listening to the Lord when He's telling you and being obedient, because this is going to help thousands of people, which I think they already have already.
Mhm.
Because there has been thousands of people that have ordered this watch.
Yes.
But I want to
So,
thank you so much, Linda.
well, thank you for allowing me to be on and share some ideas about this. And just one last idea, if it's okay.
Yes.
This is the season where we reach out to people. And I have been so amazed at people that share a watch with their neighbor across the street, or, share a watch with their grandchild when they come, or whatever the situation is, or just buy one and send it to somebody. And it just has turned people's world around. I did have one gentleman, I'm serious. He said that he had a backache for about 50 years, and the Wave Watch took care of it in 25 minutes. Now, I haven't talked to him to know if it came back, but guess what? He just called while I was talking to you, and that's what made me think of that. So I'll
Wow.
call him back. And he ordered 20 Wave Watches to give to his friends and family. Now, we're not all in that situation where we can give, tools out like that. But if you can give a little, just by sharing, you might
Yes.
help somebody else.
Yes, it will, Linda. And what a precious gift to be able to give people is the gift of health, and watching them recover is amazing. Well, thank you. And as I said, the discount code is Here I Am 100, and go to wavewatch.com. I appreciate it. Thank you, Linda.
Thanks.
And
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I just thank each and every one of you for being on today. I hope you guys have a blessed day.
Ho, 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 ho. Santa here with a special message just in time for the most wonderful time of the year. This Christmas, I've got something extra special for you. Our sparkling 1-ounce pure silver Christmas rounds. Crafted with care, these specially priced treasures are sure to make your season merry and bright. And First National is definitely on my nice list, award-winning and spreading joy to all their customers. Call their professional representatives at 800-321-8700. 800-3...
Are you tired of all the pills in your medicine cabinet? I'm Linda Bamber Olson, the creator of the Wave Watch, a more natural approach with 1,000 frequencies for mind and body. People have used the Wave Watch for kidney stones, arteries, blood, immune system, vagus nerve, myocarditis, allergies, colds and flu, ADD and ADHD, strokes, Parkinson's, carpal tunnel, thyroid, Lyme disease, and so much more. Wave Watch has a 1-year manufacturer's warranty for defects and flaws, and you can also upgrade to an additional warranty for water damage and breakage. Are you tired of all your pills and endless trips to the pharmacy? Why not try the Wave Watch with 1,000 different self-care ideas and put your mind at ease?
Just go to wavewatch.com. At checkout, use the code HEREIAM100 to receive $100 savings on your purchase.
Thank you for watching the Here I Am Show. For prayer requests, questions, or show information, email me at hereiamshow@gmail.com.